To begin with, in your own words, if you hear the word diabetes, what do you think? What comes to mind?
Well, sugar, I think that's, been around for so long, they've called it sugar, that's the first thing I think of.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I was just talking to my granddaughter in the car. She's 11. Just kind of explained that to her.
So you gave her a little lesson.
Gave her a little lesson. Next time she'll know.
Excellent. Now, what's your experience with diabetes?
Well, I am a home health, or was a home health nurse, so I've done a lot of, taking care of diabetes and teaching diabetes. But I've had it since I was in my 40s. So
a few years.
A few years, yeah. And then my son, which Elaine wanted me to try to get him to come today because I went on vacation. He started when he was about 35. And I have another son that's 30. He's 37 right now. He just went to the doctor. He's not. You wouldn't. And my one son, he's kind of heavy, and he's like me. You would think he might have it, but he doesn't look like he'd have diabetes at all. And they told him he's heading in that direction. His sugar's up, his triglycerides are high, and so forth. So no one in my family had diabetes. Period. So I don't know.
So you were surprised when you
I was real surprised, and I was real surprised about them because I thought it was just because I'm overweight and eat, terrible. Mm-hmm. But for Paul, my son, he's outside working all the time and so forth. I've never dreamed that he would get it. I don't know where it's coming from.
How about their father's side of the family? No diabetes. So it is unusual.
It is.
So sometimes diabetes, getting it's a surprise, isn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was. Well, no, I'll take that back. I wasn't really surprised because I had a big baby. My last baby was 9 pounds and 12 ounces. And of course, everybody's like, okay, you'll have diabetes. That was my one big...
So it was an important risk factor to think about. What other things do you think might cause diabetes?
I think our society today is contributing to it. We're eating ourselves to death. We rode to high school, picked up one of my granddaughters one day, and my husband, I said, just look, Danny, I said, every kid that comes out of there, you see this row right here that you don't see until we get older. Young girls never used to have this row, and that's McDonald's. That's exactly what it is. And all the young teenage girls, most of them, are starting to look that way, and the boys too, I'm sure. But yeah, I think it's the amounts. I think they killed us with amounts of foods. Yeah, I do.
What do you know about school lunches?
Well, they're trying. But you know what? The kids come home. I hate that food. Kids hate healthy food. But we, tell them to eat it because that's what they need to eat. And they're putting a lot of... I have grandchildren from 22 down. And I've seen a change in what they eat at school.
What's some of the changes?
Well, they're offering them more salads, more choices, which I think that appeals to them. They try to give them more, I guess in sneaky ways they try to get in more healthy foods to them. And I really think they do a lot more teaching in the schools now, and that's why I was surprised that she could be 11 years old and have not been taught that. She came here from a different county, so I don't know. I think our school system's pretty good about teaching nutrition.
Do you think children around here like vegetables and fruits?
I do think they do. Of course, their favorite thing is fast food. But I think being a farm country, being rural, our children are used to eating beans and you know, fruit from our trees, and I think they're used to it here probably a lot more than the city, because my grandchildren go with me to the garden, and we stand and eat out of the garden, and you know, they have a good time doing that. And I think children that grow up with gardens eat a lot more fruits, and we have vegetables, and we have fruit trees, and yeah, I think that helps if you're in a rural area.
How big a garden do you have?
Not very big.
Tell me about your garden. What you got planted there?
Corn and beans and zucchinis and squash and cucumbers, and we got some cantaloupe watermelon. I don't know how well they'll do this year, but just tomatoes, things like that. Broccoli, we always plant broccoli and early and things like that. But it's not very big. It doesn't take very much space to have a garden.
Sounds like you have a lot in it, though.
But it's really. But we only have an acre lot. It does about maybe a third of it. And the other part's flower garden. So, but I think it helps when they're around fruits and vegetables. Don't you?
Do you have fruit trees too?
We have some.
What do you have?
Apples and peaches, and we have blackberries. They watch them. They watch for the fruits to come.
Do you put them up? Do you freeze them or can, or just use everything fresh?
We try to eat it as it comes out of the garden. I really don't. We do keep it if we've got too much, but my husband says that's a kitchen garden. Because we just go out, pick it, and that's what we have for supper. Beans, corn, whatever we find. So I know at Granny's house they eat healthy.
Now, do you all have big family meals?
Yeah, I do. I cook every day pretty much.
Do you?
Yeah. And whoever's hungry comes and eats. My two sons live behind me, so I have 6 grandchildren living near me, and then my daughter, she just lives a few miles away. So if anybody wants anything to eat, they come to our house.
So they know you're cooking, and they know what. Do you have a regular supper time that?
Yeah, pretty much. They know when to come. Or if they're not around, we save them plates.
Is that right? So you're kind of the cook for the big family. Is that right?
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, I don't have to. It's just something I do.
You enjoy it?
Yeah, we like it. We're retired. We got a garden, and when you can go out and pick beans and cook them for supper, everybody looks forward to that. It's a nice thing to do.
Now, do your daughter-in-laws, do they work?
Yeah.
Your daughter, they work? So it kind of helps.
Yeah, it does.
So your grandkids might get healthier meals.
I think they do. Now, don't put this in the program.
No.
But when moms stay home, the kids eat less healthy food, because Granny's not cooking on those days.
Right.
I mean, really, I've been there and done that.
Sure.
You get in a hurry and you buy them pizzas and stuff.
Yeah, and that's, when you're pressed for time, that seems like the right thing to do, doesn't it?
That's right. And McDonald's.
And how active are your grandkids?
Pretty active.
Are they? Are they thin? Do they have that little roll around the middle yet?
Well, my oldest, I have one granddaughter that she does. She has a problem. I took her when she was 12 years old. She weighed 130 pounds, and I took her to the doctor and said, I want you to do an A1C. And I've taken her twice, and they said the same thing, because I know she's heading in that direction if she doesn't lose the weight. And she knows it because it's her dad that has diabetes. But she's the only one that I think right now. The rest of them are not really heavy or anything.
And how do you encourage a child to get more active? And I'm sure you must be doing that or trying.
Well, we stay outside with them most of the time. Now, as they get older and teenagers, they want to lay on the couch, but before that, up until about 13, when we go outside, they go outside.
Mm-hmm. You put them to work in the garden and in the yard?
We'll walk around, or not really work, but
mm-hmm.
just watch them play.
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of sitting and watching them play.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes kids just want to have an adult there so they can show off.
Absolutely, they just want to be where, and they want to be wherever you're at. So we go out there and we get a lot of pleasure out just sitting and watching.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any organized games with the kids, or?
No, not me, but my son does. He's pretty good about that. To get them together and have baseball and things, because there's 6 of them right there.
So it makes it pretty easy to get a team up, right?
Yeah, and we got more if we need them.
Now, were you born and raised in this county?
No, I'm from Perry County, Hazard.
Uh-huh.
My husband and I are from up there.
What drew you to Morgan County?
When they built the hospital down here in Morgan County, we moved down here to work. We were part of ARH, the chain in Hazard, so it was an advancement for him. But I had been down here in home health, and we knew, it's a great place. So much better than Hazard.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great place to raise kids.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. And we just really liked it, so we came down here.
And how many years you been here then?
Since about 72.
Okay, so you've been here a while then.
We've been here long enough that our kids are indoctrinated, I guess you could say.
Right.
Like, I still don't know everybody, but they do.
Going to school makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are there things that that family can do to support a person with diabetes?
Mm-hmm. They can, they can. Hate to say this, but my husband quit liking to eat sweets in front of me. And people do that. I've noticed, family members do that, and I guess it's not fair either to them, but it certainly would be encouraging if other people, wouldn't eat things. Then you break over, oh well, I'll eat one too. Bake cakes all the time and stuff.
It's tempting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're kind of a society that likes to eat a lot of that stuff.
I think, that's something I was thinking about, talking to you about, is that, we are. It's social. And I remember at first I tried really hard to stay exactly with my diet and everything. And then I got real discouraged and depressed, I guess. And I'm sure a lot of people do. And I'm like, this is for a lifetime. I don't want to be this way for a lifetime. And it's not as easy as people think. You want to sit and eat with people, and because it is social, and also there's that aspect of food for comfort. Now, I'm a comfort food person, and my granddaughter that's having trouble with her weight, she's the same way. And you start thinking, I don't want to have to live this way the rest of my life, so I'm just going to eat what I want. Mm-hmm. And I think that is one of the biggest, I always have thought that was one of the biggest battles for people with diabetes, is the emotional aspect. And I don't think people address that like they should. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what they could do to help you, really. I don't know the answer.
I was hoping you'd have the answer.
I don't know. I guess we are getting a lot more fat-free or sugar-free desserts and candies and foods, that when I was younger, they didn't have. So I guess that part probably helps. But most of those things hurt your stomach. Not much fun to eat.
Well,
so,
if you're part of a group, do you belong to some groups in the county? Church group?
Oh, yeah, extension office. I come over here to a lot of things.
Oh, the homemakers?
Yeah, I'm not actually in the homemakers, but we come to the gardening programs and
Okay, so
more
you're
of the
involved.
gardening type things.
Okay, so when you're involved in things in the community like that, are people talking about diabetes or the risks?
Well,
Is it a subject that comes up?
mostly just when they're getting their desserts, and I say I shouldn't be eating this, but I'm going to. No, that's about the only time I've heard. I haven't heard anyone.
I happened to come to the homemakers dinner that was here. Were you here that evening? And lots of good foods, and then a table full of wonderful desserts as much as the other food. So people like to bake and...
Oh yeah. It's our society, and yeah, it is. But I will say this for the extension office and all the programs they have, they always try to make some things that are for diabetics.
Mm-hmm.
Every program they have,
Mm-hmm.
Mel tries to make, and she made some really good food.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't taste so bad after
No,
all.
no, those, and I know that they do it for the kids, and
Right.
they have their little programs here and stuff. So yeah, that's the way of teaching.
Sure. Now, do you participate in a church group, or you do? Are you the only person at your church with diabetes?
No, but I haven't heard people talk about it, but I do know it. That
How do you know?
Like I said, usually they'll be standing at the dessert table looking at it, going, "I shouldn't be eating this."
So as a church, though, there's none of the effort made to really
No.
help people or support people, or...
No, not very often. You see somebody coming in saying, "Oh, this is a sugar-free cake." I mean, that's like when you're down at Golden Corral,
Mm-hmm.
and they got all these desserts, and they got a couple of sugar-free cakes, and you're like, "I'm not going to bother with that. I'm down here enjoying myself. I'm going to eat."
Mm-hmm. 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 So do you think that churches, because there's a lot of churches in the area, do you think there's anything that people could do through churches to make people more aware about diabetes and help them live with the disease? Because it is a long time.
Well, I don't. Besides, programs, there might be some teaching programs or something. But I feel like most people do know, but most people probably don't know how to cope. I'm not sure. Okay.
One of the other concerns with, besides the eating, right, which is
that's what I'm obsessed with,
is this idea of getting activity.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have problems getting enough activity? I mean, I know it sounds like your garden helps.
Mm-hmm. And in the wintertime, it's different.
Tell me about the wintertime. What's it like in the wintertime for you?
Mostly snowed in with 6 kids. So you move around quite a bit, but nothing like summertime.
So, do you feel healthier in the summer than...
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever had difficulties with depression? Has that ever been a...
Yeah, I take something for depression. Because I'm one of those people that if I don't take it, I just cry. And I think that it's inside. I think it's not enough serotonin or something. Because it seems like other members of my family are the same way.
So it's a family.
Yeah, it is.
And medicine makes you feel better.
Makes you feel normal.
It's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling normal is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So is there anything that you particularly do in the wintertime to get more active?
Not really. Because there's not too much you can do. I mean, I know there's exercise machines and stuff, but we don't have those.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really do anything different.
Do you think there's things that we could do in the community to promote more activities so folks could get out?
Well, I think we have some things here, like at the community center. I think you can walk and use their machines, which we don't, but we could do that. I think there are some things.
Is it something that's just not appealing to you? Or
Yeah,
is
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, I know that money's sometimes a factor for some people too, that whether you want to spend your money.
Well, I don't think you have to pay. I think it's pretty much free.
Mm-hmm.
And we have great walking tracks and so forth, but no, I don't know.
You don't do
We
that?
just don't do it.
Over just across the street, but it's the health department. There's a little track there.
Mm-hmm.
You ever walked on that?
Mm-hmm.
What would it take to get you there?
I don't know. We have occasionally, there's 2 or 3 places in town to walk.
Uh-huh.
And occasionally my husband and I'll do it. But we, you know, in the wintertime you couldn't walk on the outdoor tracks. You'd have to go to the community center.
Because it's too cold.
I don't want to walk in the cold.
Yeah. Did you do it when you were a child?
Probably.
Yeah. What was it like when you were a child? What did you do outside then?
We just played.
Did your grandchildren play outside now?
Not much.
Not
like we did.
Yeah. Did you walk to school when you were? You had a school bus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because you were in Hazard.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably a long way to get to school. Is one last question. Is there anything that that people in Morgan County might think about in making changes to the community to help people get more active?
I think they've done a lot of thinking about it. I mean, I've seen a lot of articles in the paper. I know that there's things going on with different clubs and like here, and I do think they try really hard. I do.
So you think some efforts are already being made?
I think they're already being made.
Okay. All right. Well, I think I've asked most of the questions that I had for you. Is there anything I didn't ask you about that you want to share, or any ideas?
Well, I thought about this when I was 40, and I'd go every year for my physical, and the doctor would say, well, your sugar's a little high, you need to quit eating so much, you know. And I guess he did that. He was an older doctor, and he did that for 2 or 3 years. And I knew better, but, you know, if the doctor says it's okay and he's not going to give me any medicine, I'm not going to speak up and say, hey, but I'm sure I should have, but I didn't. But the thing is, then when he retired, right after that, and I went to another doctor in Moorhead, young woman, and, you know, the first thing she said to me, you have diabetes. And I was like, you know, no, I didn't expect anybody to say, you have diabetes, because he'd been kind of like putting it off for so long. But the reason I was thinking about that is that's the difference in our older medicine and our newer medicine. And she started telling me the guidelines. So you have to be here and here and here. Your blood pressure has to be such. And, you know, she really started working on all those things, which I'd never had a doctor to do that. Mm-hmm. And I think one thing, you know, people need to get in to a good doctor when they have diabetes. And I'm afraid a lot of times that they may not be getting that.
Sometimes you don't want to hear it.
Well, no, I didn't either, but once I did, I think it helped me. Mm-hmm. No, that's what I was doing. I knew. I was walking around for about 3 years. I'd go to a health fair and they'd say, your sugar's high. I was like, oh, yeah, I know. But especially if the doctor tells you it's okay.
Right. Yeah, then you just think you're okay.
I think that's one thing to get people into to get better examinations.
Have you had any problems with complications? Any complications?
No.
So you must be doing something right.
Well, I try. I mean, I semi-try. Not at dessert time. No, I haven't.
Well, some of the rules have changed,
yeah.
You know, so, I mean, what they even said 25 years ago is different than what they're saying today as far as guidelines. So you can have a little dessert.
Yeah.
Just not every meal every day. Right?
Yep.
You're a nurse?
Mm-hmm.
So what did you tell patients that you cared for with diabetes?
Well, I just tried, I hated the old diabetic diet, what was that?
Exchange list.
Exchange list. I hated that, and it's really hard to teach people.
Mm-hmm.
So just try to teach them common sense eating. Most of all.
What does that mean, common sense?
Well, just 3 meals a day and limit what you're eating, and pay attention to what you're eating. Eat healthy. You don't eat 5 pieces of bologna for breakfast. I mean, you should use just common sense.
Mm-hmm.
We know,
Mm-hmm.
but we just don't do it.
Good advice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it, Cheryl.